Hey YouTube, welcome back to Get Wrenching. I'm your host Murray. What are we doing today? We're going to remove this carburetor and replace it with this nice vintage 650 Holley double pumper. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a sandwich and a beverage, and guess what? We're tearing into it. Okay, YouTube, what we got here is a Holley 600 CFM carburetor I bought about 2-3 years ago. Put it on the car, had some troubles, some issues, some running lean issues. Yes, I know, you can buy a kit, remove the top of the carburetor, or you can take it these little metering rods and do magic with it with the wizard book. And I'm going to hang on to the carburetor. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not saying it's a bad carburetor. I just don't think it's the right fit for what I'm trying to do, especially on a single plane intake. I have a 650 Holley double pumper, which is my first Holley 4-barrel that I've personally owned. Not saying I haven't touched these things before. I have. I'm not an expert at them by any means. I do know this is an early series 4777. It's so early it doesn't even have a number after it, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever they come in. I do have a little small crack in the base plate, which it doesn't look like it's anywhere near any vacuum ports that's going to affect me today. So what we're going to do is we're going to bolt this carburetor on. It's not a how-to. We're just bolting it on, see how it's going to work. See if it make this little 318 scream a little bit better. Maybe a little better fuel economy, which I doubt it, because this thing is really hard on gas compared to the rest of my vehicles, which I'm just now realizing. Well, it seems like it's hard on gas because gas prices are through the roof. Goddamn inflation. Yeah, so this is not a tutorial. Like I said, just going to watch me work here, bolt this on. We're going to go for a little cruise and see how it works. Sorry, YouTube, for not getting any videos out. Laid off my job, so money was kind of tight. Couldn't spend any extra money. I did have a video all edited and ready to go until the computer decided to crash and wiped that video out. I don't have any of the original content from it that I originally filmed. It took me 2 days to film and 3 days to edit. It's all gone. So, except for a quarter of it, which if I put that on there would make absolutely no sense whatsoever what we were doing. So, let's get digging. Okay, YouTube, got that carburetor on. Didn't film me putting it on because I want to tell you something. This ain't no Edelbrock putting it on, I can tell you that one. Everything is in the way of a Holley. And it's not as simple and easy as everyone says it is, if you had the right proper stuff. But here we are, budget again. Murray's got no money. We got to work with what we got. But it's on and it's running. There it is. What took me so long is all this. Because that's the 2-barrel mount, or the 2-barrel throttle bracket down there. Heavily modified. I didn't take a lot off. Just kept chewing at it over time. Then I had to put this screw in. Then I had to take the factory 2-barrel stud and cut it and then nut it. And oh yeah. But now what I'm running into trouble with is my throttle return springs isn't as strong. So for it to return, it's not, it's not returning very good. So what I got to do now is the brother-in-law, he findangles and all this stuff too. So I'm going to fire the car up. It doesn't take off that bad. It just go to 1,000. Reason why I really need it, because I can't get it down to the 20 inches of mercury that I need to. The idle just keeps going up. So the spring is allowing the throttle of the blades to stay open. So then it brings my idle up, which is increasing the amount of mercury that's being pulled into the engine. So yeah, so it's throwing all my adjustments off. And it just got shit on by a bird. That's great. Ugh. Gross. Like they say, that's good luck. Maybe I should go buy a lotto ticket, and then I can buy a 69 Charger or a 70 Roadrunner. Well, YouTube, sorry I didn't give you a running video of the old Volare. If you can see, when I was getting it running there, it seemed like it was not starting very good. Well, if you remember at the first of the video, I said the 650 Holley has a little small crack in the base plate, and it shouldn't affect me. Well, boy, was I wrong. This is what your base plate is supposed to look like. Notice how it's got all 4 corners. There's no visible cracks on this one, right? Well, on this one, this crack really screwed me. And I mean screwed. So here's what's left. As you can see there. Here's the other piece, that's the vacuum stud for my distributor. When I picked this carburetor up, I should have listened really well, because Buddy told me, and yes, he has a purposely built sort of street strip car, told me he had to run a locked out distributor when he ran this carburetor. He couldn't figure it out. I did. Bit me in the butt. Did he rip me off? No. Talking to the guy, he was a nice guy. He knows the wife, believe it or not. He's from Ontario. He moved here to Nova Scotia, and believe it or not, they lived in the same town. She knew him for years. They invited us back up to the place, which is great. Did I get ripped off? No. Because when I was talking to the guy, he explained to me I had to run a locked out distributor, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, man, this don't sound right. A street strip car running a locked out distributor don't jive with me. And it's not saying that the guy doesn't know what he's doing, because he did put a lot of stuff on his car and he's doing a really great job to it, but he's just learning. He told me that he's just learning. So no, I didn't get ripped off. Did I pay too much for this carburetor? After seeing this, most definitely so. $300 is what I paid Canadian dollars for this carburetor. I could have bought one through my buddy Michael. Why not? Which everybody around here knows. Between race trucks and drag cars and muscle cars, you take your Holley to him like this, tell him what you got for a cam, whatever, blah, 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 and he will do the best that he can. Basically, most of these carburetors you get from him, you just bolt on the car and you never have to touch them again, believe it or not. Like, he is that good, I have to admit. So I brought the carburetor down here, took it apart, and as I was taking it apart, this fell off. I tried to put a little silicone onto it because it was a crack, just to see if I could make it run better. Well, as the car was warming up, it was running shittier. Well, that's because this was actually opening up as the car warmed up. So the Edelbrock is back on the car now, running fine, still running lean. I figured I'd finagle on some, Holley stuff, but I guess that's not going to happen right now. We're going to have to take a step back because this base plate here is $219 to $283. A rebuild kit's about $85, which I fully expected on spending anyway when I bought the carburetor, because he told me that it sat for 2 years on the shelf. Well, you set something around like a carburetor that's head gas in it, the seals and stuff all dry up and everything leaks, which I found out the next day when I went to go remove this carburetor off my car. I'm like, oh, nice. It leaks everywhere. Well, a little rebuild kit will take care of that. I'm hoping to find a used base plate. There may be somebody else in the town that may have one. Let's hope and pray that he does. Maybe I can get it cheap. Maybe not. Not, I'll buy a new one. And then that way I know what I got. What I'm going to do now, guys and gals, we'll take a little step back from this, which I will have a rebuild video on this. This is going to happen soon. Not within the next couple weeks or so, because, well, my Jeep decided that it needs $300 worth of injectors, which I just bought, and they, guess what? They showed up. So guess what we're going to be doing next? Injectors on my Jeep. So that's going to conclude it for me today here, guys and gals in YouTube world. If you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button. It's like right there. Cost you nothing, easy to do. Just go click, and then you're subscribed to me. And if you don't like what you see after a while, you can unsubscribe at any time. No hard feelings, no contracts, no commitments. Also remember to hit the like button, and please comment down below. I'd like to know if any of you guys and gals out there have bought used carburetors and ran into the same trouble. When I picked the carburetor up, it was fairly dirty on the bottom. I didn't see the crack. I picked it up. I'm like, ooh, $650 pumper. It's mine. So, if you guys and gals do this for a living, or you just do this for fun, just remember, stay safe and get wrenching. We'll see you next time.